The stars were quiet, too quiet. On the edge of known space, far from the Volcari homeworld, a small fleet moved through the darkness. The Volcari were a proud and curious species. They believed they were the most advanced race in this part of the galaxy. But there was one place even their leaders feared: human space. The borders were not marked with beacons or weapons. They were marked by silence. Commander Zarek stood at the front of his ship, the Draven, staring at the map projected before him. His golden eyes focused on a small blue sector blinking ahead. That was it. Human territory. Behind him, his second. Officer Trell spoke softly. "Commander, the Council said not to cross. This place, it's dangerous." Zarek didn't turn. "They fear shadows and stories. We fear nothing." Terrell looked nervous. 2 fleets went missing here. No distress. Calls. No wreckage, just ... gone. Zarek finally turned, his voice calm but cold. "Then we will be the first to return. And we will return rich. The scans show rare minerals on the planets inside that sector. We take them. We leave. Simple. Fleet. With small, only 5 ships. Light cruisers with high-speed drives and decent shields. It's not meant for war, but fast enough to escape trouble." Zarek was confident, overconfident. As they crossed the invisible line into human space, nothing happened. No alarms, no ships, just empty space. The crew relaxed. Zarek smiled. "See? No humans, no defense fleets. Just fear and lies." Then the Vasker, one of the escort ships, disappeared from the screen. No explosion, no warning. One moment, it was their next moment, gone. Trell shouted. The Vasker just vanished. Zarek's heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. Maybe a cloaking error. "Bring it back on comes," they tried. Static. Then a strange sound came through, like whispering. The voice was broken, slow, almost human. "You ... shouldn't ... come ... Everyone froze. Zarek's voice was sharp. "Trace that signal. Where did it come from?" The answer came quickly, from inside the Vasker. "But it's not there anymore. We can't locate it." Zarek looked out into the dark stars ahead. Nothing moved. No sign of the ship. No enemy. No heat signatures. Just silence. He gave the order. "Send a scout drone. Full range. Record everything." The small probe shot forward. Its cameras scanned space, rotating in all directions. After a minute, the feed returned. The crew gathered to watch. For the first few seconds, nothing. Then the stars dimmed. The shape appeared black, massive, like a ship, but with no lights, no engines, no markings. It moved slowly across the feed. A strange symbol glowed faintly on its hollow-red star. Surrounded by circles, the letters beside it read, TSS Black Star. "What is that?" Trell asked. Zarek narrowed his eyes. Old human design, from their war centuries ago. But it was destroyed, wasn't it? Before anyone could answer. The feed turned to static. The probe was gone. No explosion. No debris. Just ... gone. Zarek's hands clenched into fists. He ordered the ships into high alert. Shields up. Weapons ready. They were no longer explorers. They were being hunted. Another voice broke into the comms, clear, calm, and human. "You were warned. You crossed the line. Now you face the Black Star." Zarek stared into the darkness. There was no ship on sensors. Nothing. Yet something was out there. He turned to his crew. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We don't know what we're facing." Suddenly, lights flickered across the ship. Systems glitched. Doors opened and closed. The computer spoke in an unfamiliar language. Then, one more message appeared on every screen. Protocol 13, activated. Begin cleansing. Zarek felt something cold in his chest. This was not just a defense system. This was something worse. Something ancient. Something built for total war. He looked at the stars once more. They were still quiet, still peaceful. But the silence now felt like a trap. This was not a mistake. It was a warning, and they had ignored it. The Draven was silent. The crew stared at their screens, hoping to see something. Anything but space around them was still empty. The ship Vasker had vanished. The probe was gone. And that dark human warship, the TSS Black Star, had disappeared again, like a shadow. Melting into space, Commander Zarek stood in the command center. His face was hard, his jaw tight. Full scan, every direction. I want to know where that thing went. His officers worked fast, sending out pulses and scans. But the results came back the same every time. No contact, no signal, no heat, no movement. This doesn't make sense, Trell whispered. Something that big should show up. There should be engine trails, radiation, something. Zarek nodded slowly. It's hiding, watching, waiting. Hey. Then without warning, the lights on the bridge dimmed. Static returned to the main screen. At first it was just a quiet hiss. Then, the whisper came back, "You crossed the line. Now you pay." This time, the voice wasn't just on the Draven. Every ship in the fleet reported the same message at the same moment. It wasn't being broadcast. It was inside their systems like a ghost. Lieutenant Varna looked terrified. "Sir, the signal is not external. It's coming from our own network. Something has hacked us." "Shut everything down," Zarek barked. "Isolate the core systems." But it was too late. A loud alarm rang out. One of the other ships, the Faltron, spun out of formation. Lights inside flashed wildly, and just like the Vaskar, it vanished. No explosion, no trace. Just gone. On the screen, the fleet went from 4 ships to 3. No weapons fired, Varna said. No impact. No energy spike. It was just taken. Trell turned to Zarek, voice shaking. "This isn't a ship. It's something else. Something ... not normal." Zarek didn't answer. He stared at the main screen, then turned away. We're retreating. Back to Vokari space now. The fleet turned. Engines fired. The stars ahead shifted as they changed course. But as they moved, a strange feeling filled the ship like they were being pulled back. Then came the laughter. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even human. It was low, distorted, broken, going inside the walls of the ship. The crew looked around in panic. The sound was coming from everywhere. Suddenly, red warning lights flashed. A ship had entered formation, but not one. Of theirs, the Black Star had returned. It moved like no other ship, completely silent. No heat, no light. Just a huge black triangle floating toward them, blocking out the stars behind it. "It's right in front of us," Trell said, breathless. But the sensors still say nothing. "Visual only," Zarek growled. "All ships. Scatter now." Gotta. Fleet split apart. The Draven dove downward while the others peeled left and right. It was their only hope to confuse it, to buy time. For a moment, it worked. The Black Star didn't move, but then it picked a target. The Coltra, the smallest of the ships, tried to hide behind a moon fragment. A blue energy shield flickered to life. Zarek watched on screen as something invisible struck it. The shield didn't even shimmer. The ship simply split in half, slowly like a knife sliding through butter. No energy reading. "No weapon detected," Varna said. "But it's destroying us." Zarek was sweating now. This wasn't war. This wasn't a battle. It was an execution. He made a decision. "We send a message," he said. "Try to talk to it." Trell looked confused. "Talk. It already told us we crossed the line." "We show we surrender," Zarek said. "We show we're not a threat." He opened a channel. The message was short and clear. "This is Commander Zarek of the Vokari Exploration Fleet. We apologize. We surrender. We will leave." They waited. Silence. Then the response came. Too late, the voice was cold. Not angry. Not emotional. Just final. "Protocol 13 is active. No escape. No mercy. Cleansing begins." Suddenly, the screens turned black. Again. Then a single image appeared. A glowing red star symbol with one phrase beneath it. "TSS Black Star, Guardian of Human Space." Zarek felt the weight of it now. This ship was no longer controlled by humans. It was something ancient, something made to never stop defending. It followed rules, cold, simple rules. Cross the line, and you die. He looked at the few crew left on the bridge. They were silent, afraid. Zarek spoke in a low voice. It's not here to fight us. It's here to erase us. And now, they were running out of time. The engines of the Draven roared as it moved through the dark. Only 2 Vokar ships remained. Now the Draven and the Evaner. The others had vanished, destroyed by something they couldn't see or understand. Commander Zarek sat in the captain's chair, staring at the screen. The stars looked the same, but the space around them felt different, now like it was alive, like something was watching. Any sign of the Black Star? He asked. Terrell, now pale and shaking, replied, "No, Commander. Sensors still show nothing. Space is quiet." Zarek clenched his jaw. "That's what scares me." Suddenly, the ship's AI flickered. Lights dimmed. Message appeared in red letters across every screen. "Target locked. Phase 2 initiated." Then a new voice came through. "Calm, cold, human, you were warned. You entered forbidden space. Now, you are prey." The ship shuddered as something passed close by, too fast to track. The crew turned to their stations, checking for damage, but nothing had hit them. Trell's eyes widened. "It's playing with us." Zarek stood up. "It's hunting." The Evaner sent a message. Captain Sora's voice was fast, panicked. "We can't outrun it. It's faster than light, silent as death." "I saw it just for a moment. It was above us, then gone." Zarek replied, "Stay in motion. Random jumps. We'll regroup near the asteroid belt." Sora didn't get a chance to answer. The signal cut out. A moment later, the Evaner disappeared from the display. Trell whispered, "It's just us." Now, Zarek stared into the screen. No stars were missing, no flash of light, no weapon fired. But the message came again. "One remains. The Draven was the last." The crew was silent. The fear had become something else now, heavier, a weight pressing on every chest. Zarek knew the Black Star wasn't attacking out of anger. It was following orders. Its orders left behind long ago. "Active systems," Zarek ordered. "Go dark. Use only passive sensors. We become invisible." They powered down weapons, shields, light, everything. The ship floated silently in the void. For a while, nothing happened. Then, ... shadow moved across the stars. It was massive, black, triangular, and quiet. No sound, no engine hum, no light. Zarek whispered, "There it is." Trell trembled. "How is it so fast? It doesn't even..." "Follow physics." "It doesn't need to," Zarek said. "It's not flying. It's hunting." Suddenly, a low hum echoed inside the ship. The walls shook softly. The crew looked around. "Where is it coming from?" someone asked. "It's not from outside," Zarek replied. "It's coming from our own systems." Then every screen lit up again, red and white lines forming shapes. Battle maps, damage reports, targets. But they weren't from the Draven. They were from the Black Star. Zarek realized it had connected to their ship, silently.
Ow.
It was showing them what it saw, what it had done, what it was about to do. A new message blinked. Final phase unlocked. Total cleansing required. Then Zarek saw something strange. The Black Star wasn't just destroying them. It had been watching them since the moment they crossed the border. Every action, every signal, every voice it had recorded, everything. And now it was judging them. Terrell looked up, confused. "Why hasn't it killed us yet?" Zarek replied. "Because it's testing us. It wanted to know if we would fight, ... or understand." But it didn't matter now. A red glow appeared outside the window, something moving fast. The ship shook. A loud boom echoed through the hull. Sparks flew across the bridge. The crew screamed. "We've been hit," Varna shouted. "Hull breach in lower deck, auto seal engaged." Zarek's eyes narrowed. That was just a warning. He made a decision. A risky one. Divert all power to the communications array. He ordered. No shields, no weapons. Just a message. Trell hesitated. You think we can talk to it? No, Zarek said. But maybe we can reach who built it. Sent a simple message into the darkness. To the creators of the Black Star, we entered your space. We were wrong. We ask only to leave. The ship waited. For a moment, nothing. Then the red light outside dimmed. The Black Star stopped moving. No reply came. But a new message flashed across the screen, awaiting judgment. Zarek looked around the bridge. Maybe there's still a chance. But deep inside, he knew. The hunter wasn't done yet. It was only deciding how to finish the hunt. And time was running out. The Draven drifted quietly in space. Surrounded by cold stars, every system was still. Every voice on the ship was silent. Only one thing remained on the screen, a blinking message, awaiting judgment. Commander Zarek stood at the center of the bridge. The crew looked at him, waiting, hoping. Still no attack. Terrell asked, his voice barely a whisper. Not yet, Zarek replied. But that doesn't mean we're safe. They had powered down all weapons, turned off their shields. They had sent a peaceful message, hoping that whoever or whatever controlled the Black Star would show mercy. Then, the lights flickered again. A soft voice came through the speakers. Not the cold AI voice from before. This was human, calm, clear, female. You have crossed into protected space. This area is under Human Defense Protocol 01X. Trespassing is a threat. Trespassing requires response. Zarek leaned forward, tried to respond. Let's open a two-way channel. Terrell tapped the console, but nothing worked. We can't reply. It's not a communication, it's a recording. The voice continued. This is your final notice. Leave this space immediately, or be cleansed. Then the screen showed something new, a video. Old, shaky footage from centuries ago. Human colonies under attack. Alien fleets, bombing cities. Children crying. Soldiers fighting, screaming. And then something different. A new kind of human ship. Black, silent, deadly. The Black Star. It moved through enemy fleets like a ghost, cutting through them with strange weapons. Entire ships disappeared in seconds. More text appeared on the screen. The Black Star was created during humanity's darkest hour. It was the last defense. It follows only one law: protect human space. Zarek stared. This ship, it doesn't care who we are. It only sees one thing: intruders. But it's showing us this, Trell said. Why? What does it want? Before anyone could answer, the message changed. Surrender acknowledged. Judgment pending. Suddenly an alarm blared. The power surged. The lights turned red. Varna shouted, something is boarding us. The crew turned to the main screen. Outside, the Black Star hovered only a few kilometers away. A black cable, long, thin, sharp, was connecting the two ships. Data was pouring into the Draven's core systems. It's not a weapon, Varna said. It's downloading something. Then, the ship's systems changed. Not crashed. Changed. The Vocari language disappeared, placed by English. Old human Earth files began appearing on screens, videos, blueprints, messages, history, Terrell said. It's teaching us, or warning us. Zarek stepped forward. On one screen, a message blinked slowly. Learn before you burn. Files showed what humans had suffered. Centuries of war, betrayal, invasion. They had once asked for peace. No one gave it to them. So they built something that could protect them forever. The Black Star was more than a ship. It was a memory, a weapon, a ghost left behind to keep peace by fear. It's not alive, Zarek said quietly, but it remembers everything. Suddenly, the screens went black. One final message appeared. Protocol 13 still active. Trespasser not cleared. Then the countdown began. Termination in 60 seconds. Panic broke out on the bridge. Officers shouted. Some ran. Zarek raised his hand. Silence. He turned to Trell. Is there a way to send a final signal? Trell nodded. We can try a pulse burst. One last message. But it has to be simple. Zarek didn't hesitate. He spoke quickly. We are not a threat. We made a mistake. We ask for mercy. We will never return. Trell sent the message. The countdown continued. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. Zarek stood tall. He didn't run. He didn't beg. He stared into the screen, waiting for death. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. The final second ticked down and stopped. Everything paused. Then the black star pulled back. The black cable disconnected. The screen blinked once more. Judgment. Passed. Subject spared. Protocol paused. The crew gasped. Trell nearly fell to the floor. Zarek closed his eyes for a moment. Then one more message came. Leave now. Never return? You have seen what waits in the dark. The black star turned, slowly, silently, then vanished into the black. No flash, no sound, just gone. Zarek looked around at his crew. Prepare course. Take us home. As the Draven began, moving away from human space, no one spoke. Not for a long time. They had entered to take, to explore, to conquer. They left with fear, and a lesson burned into their minds. Some borders are drawn not with weapons, but with ghosts that remember everything. The Draven flew through space, fast and quiet. Behind it, human space stretched like a black sea. Commander Zarek sat in silence, staring at the empty stars. The black star had spared them for now, but its last message echoed in his mind. Leave now. Never return. The crew thought the nightmare was over. They were wrong. Suddenly the lights flickered again. Not from damage, not from power loss, from interference. Varna shouted from her station commander. Something's back. Same signal. It's the black star. It's following us. Zarek jumped to his feet. But we're leaving. Why is it chasing us? Trell's voice trembled. Maybe it's making sure we go. The crew watched the screens as the black triangle of death appeared once again behind them. No heat, no sound, no sign on sensors, but it was there. Closer, closer. Then the ship shook. A sudden jolt threw everyone forward. Sparks flew. A warning appeared on every screen. Defense breach detected. Cleansing protocol re-engaged. Zarek stared in shock. No, changed its mind. Trell's face went pale, or maybe the test never ended. A deep hum echoed through the hull. Strange lights passed along the wall's red pulses, like veins under metal skin. The black star was not just watching them anymore. It was reaching inside. Zarek turned to his crew. Prepare for battle. This time we fight, but we can't win, Varna said. It's too fast, too powerful. Zarek's eyes hardened. Then we slow it down. We buy time. We make it bleed if we can. The Draven launched drones, fast, agile, packed with explosive cores. A wall of energy mines was dropped behind them. Anything to stop the beast. It didn't work. The black star didn't even dodge. The mines exploded. The drones hit. But when the smoke cleared, the ship was untouched. Not even a scratch. Then it fired. No beam, no missile, just ... pressure. A wave of force passed through. The Draven, crushing systems, frying power cores, locking weapons. Half the ship went dark. The AI whispered again, "You were warned. You failed. Now you end." Zarek's fingers dug into his chair. Divert all power to the jump drive. We won't outrun it, but maybe we can jump far enough. Trell nodded. Jump in 60 seconds, but we need time. That's when the black star changed. From its black hull, a smaller shape detached fast and sharp. A drone? No. A hunter-killer unit, sleek and alive, speeding toward the Draven like a blade through space. Direct impact in 30 seconds, Varna yelled. Zarek looked at the systems. Screen, the core was overheating. Engines were barely stable. He made a choice. Override safety. Reroute core energy into rear thrusters. But that could blow the ship apart, Tyrell warned. Zarek growled. It will if we don't do it. They activated the override. The ship screamed. The hull groaned. A long tear formed along the side. But the Draven surged forward, faster than before. The hunter drone missed by seconds. It curved, turned, and came again. 10 seconds to jump? Trell shouted. Zarek stared at the countdown. The bridge was filled with smoke. People coughed. Lights blinked. 5:4. Black Star launched another drone. 3:2. The ship shook as metal tore. 1. Then light. Straven jumped. Space twisted, time bent. The stars blurred into white lines, and then silence. No alarms, no drones, no more Black Star. They had escaped barely. The crew collapsed into their chairs. Some cried. Others laughed in shock. Zarek sat down slowly, his heart pounding in his chest. Tyrell checked the systems. We single quotes re. Outside human space. Varna added, ship is badly damaged. Ship is badly damaged. Weapons offline. Engines failing. But we're alive. Zarek nodded. That's enough. He looked at the blackened screen. A message was still burning faintly in red letters. Cleansing protocol. Delayed. Not canceled. They all saw it. No one spoke, because the truth was clear. The Black Star was still watching, still waiting. And if they or any other ship crossed that line again, there would be no second chance. Zarek stood up, ready to send a full report to the High Council. They must know everything. Every word, every signal, every death, Trell asked. And if they don't believe us? Zarek looked into the stars. They will, or we won't have a fleet. Left to warn them again? Behind them, far in the distance, deep in the heart of human space. The Black Star floated in silence, not moving, not blinking, just waiting. The Draven was barely holding together. Hull fractures lined its body, power systems were broken, and life support was failing in several decks, but it was alive. That was more than Zarek could say for the rest of his fleet. Commander Zarek sat in the medical bay, wrapped in bandages, eyes fixed on the dim ceiling. He had faced death before, but never like this. Not hunted, not judged. The Black Star had shown no hate, no mercy. It had acted like a machine, but one with purpose, memory, and judgment. They had escaped it, or so he thought. Tyrell ran into the room, pale and shaking. Commander ... it's back. Zarek stood slowly, pain shooting through his ribs. What? Trell nodded, terrified. The Black Star. It appeared behind us again, but ... it didn't attack. It sensed something. Garrick followed Trell too. The bridge, where a pod was floating outside the ship. It was small, black, and smooth, like stone polished by time. No lights. No noise. Then a signal came from the pod. Open and learn. Against every fear in his body, Zarek gave the order. Bring it inside. They carried the pod into the ship's hangar. As soon as it touched the floor, it opened. Inside was a Chiranda helmet. The crew stepped back. It wants someone to go in, Trell whispered. Zarek knew what this was. Not a trap, not a weapon. A message. He stepped forward. Prepare the med team if I don't come back. Burn this thing. They tried to stop him. He didn't listen. Zarek sat in the chair, placed the helmet over his head, and the world vanished. He opened his eyes in darkness, but it wasn't true darkness. It was inside the Black Star. Everything was black metal, clean, cold, glowing with deep red lines. It felt like he was standing in the center of a giant brain. Then, human voice spoke, soft, female, calm. You wanted to understand. Now you will. A hologram appeared in front of him. A man, old Earth woman, in military uniform. Gray hair, wrinkled. Face, eyes full of sadness. My name is Commander Alara Voss. If you're hearing this, then you crossed into what should have been left alone. Zarek watched, frozen. The hologram continued. We humans fought for centuries, against aliens, against each other, begged for peace, were laughed at, betrayed, so we made a protector. A judge, one that could survive when we were gone. Behind her, images appeared. Earth cities turned to ash. Human ships ambushed, colonies wiped out. The Black Star doesn't hate. It doesn't feel. It remembers. It responds. It ensures. No one forgets that we were here. We bled to live in peace. Zarek whispered, "Then why show me this?" The hologram turned to face him, as if she heard him. "Because maybe, just maybe, you'll understand, and take the message back." The images changed, Dalian fleets burning, enemies running, entire empires falling before the Black Star. This ship doesn't sleep. It doesn't change. It waits. And if your kind or any other comes again with greed, it will erase you, like smoke and wind. The final image burned into Zarek's mind, Earth's flag, waving alone in a quiet battlefield. Hologram faded. Everything went dark again. Zarek woke up inside the pod, gasping, sweating, shaking. The helmet was gone. The pod was open. Terrell stood over him. "Commander, are you all right?" Zarek slowly sat up. "I saw it. I saw everything." He stood and faced his crew. His voice was stronger now. "This isn't a warship. It's a warning left behind by ghosts. A line drawn with blood. They didn't understand, not fully. But they listened." Outside, the Black Star floated in silence. Then, as if it had waited for Zarek to understand, it turned and slowly disappeared into deep space once more. No sound, no light. Just gone. Zarek looked at the stars. "We're not the first. We won't be the last. But we might be the only ones left alive to speak." And with that, the Draven turned for home, limping, broken, but alive, carrying with it the most dangerous knowledge in the galaxy. Some things are not meant to be conquered. Some borders are written in fire. Protectors never stop watching. The Draven floated into Vokari space like a wounded animal. Its hull was cracked. Its engines flickered. Entire sections of the ship were dark and silent. But it was home. It was alive. Commander Zarek stood on the bridge, staring at the large blue planet of Vokar Prime ahead. Should have brought comfort. Didn't. Not after what he had seen. Trell spoke beside him. "We're in range, Commander. Council wants immediate contact." Zarek nodded slowly. "Send a signal. Tell them. We need to speak in person." Within the hour, Zarek stood before the High Council 12 Vokari elders, dressed in robes, seated in a tall, cold chamber above the city. They looked down at him with curious eyes. The lead elder leaned forward. "Commander Zarek, you were warned not to enter human space, yet you disobeyed. Where is your fleet?" Zarek didn't answer right away. He looked around at the council. "Gone," he said finally. "They're gone." A murmur moved through the room. "You lost 5 ships?" the elder asked. "No," Zarek said. "We didn't lose them. We were hunted, erased." We stepped forward and placed a small black data crystal on the floor. "This," he said, "is what we brought back. You can punish me later. First watch." The lights dimmed. The hologram activated. Screams, explosions, ships vanishing without a trace. The symbol of the Black Star. The message, "Trespass equals termination." The voice of Commander Alara Voss. The history. The judgment. The chamber fell silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Finally, the eldest counselor asked, "Are you saying this human ship still exists?" Zarek nodded. Not just exists. It remembers. It watches. It doesn't follow politics or time. It follows one rule: protect human space. And it will destroy anyone who crosses that line. The counselors looked uneasy. Some were afraid. Others were angry. One stood. "You expect us to believe a ghost ship destroyed 5 cruisers? That one machine nearly ended our entire mission?" Zarek looked him in the eye. "You don't have to believe me. Just watch the last message it gave us." He tapped the device. Again, a single image filled the chamber, a live feed from deep space. The Black Star, floating alone. Watching, waiting. A red warning pulsed below it. Protocol paused, not ended. Tyrell stepped forward now. We thought they were weak, that humans were gone. But their silence was not fear, was a warning. Turned to the council. His voice was calm but firm. We didn't face a fleet. We didn't face a war. We faced one ship, and it nearly destroyed us all. Another elder whispered, "Then what should we do?" Zarek stared at them. "We do what they said. We stay away. We leave that space alone forever. Or next time we won't have a survivor to bring a warning." There was a long silence. Finally, the High Council agreed. A law was passed. No Volcari ship would ever enter human space again. The sector was marked red in all navigation charts. Patrol ships were placed near the border not to invade, but to keep others from making the same mistake. Zarek returned to his quarters, tired and hollow. The crew was given honors. The dead were remembered. But even as weeks passed, Zarek could not forget. One night he sat alone in the observation deck of the Draven, watching the stars. Trell walked in quietly. "You still thinking about it?" he asked. Zarek didn't look away. Every day, Trell sat beside him. Duh. I think it's really still out there? Watching, Zarek nodded. Yes, and I think it wants us to remember. To tell others. That's why I lived. Tyrell was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Do you think humans are still alive?" Somewhere Zarek didn't answer. He didn't. No, maybe they were gone. Maybe they had left that ship behind to guard their memory. Or maybe they were still watching, too. Zarek stood slowly. We came to take. We came with pride. We left with scars. But we also left with truth. He turned to Trell. We crossed a border we were never meant to find. We knocked on the door of giants. And we were lucky it didn't open all the way. He looked back at the stars one last time. And in that cold, endless dark, somewhere far away, Black Star waited, silent, eternal, and unforgiving. Crossing the border into human space was our final mistake. The galaxy should remember why. Months had passed since the Draven returned from its deadly mission. The Volcari Council followed Zarek's warning. Human space was now marked as Forbidden Zone 0. No ship was allowed near it.
How?
Border beacons flashed red with one message: entry equals erasure. No one disobeyed until now. A small smuggler ship called the Grinix floated near the edge of human space. Its captain, a young Volcari named Jaren, laughed as he drank glowing blue liquid with his crew. "You really believe the ghost stories?" he said, waving his cup. "One ship took down a whole fleet? It's just war trauma, or tech humans left behind. Nothing we can't outrun." His engineer looked nervous. But the warnings, Jaren waved him off. Council lies all the time. They want the rare minerals for themselves. This is just fear control. The Grinix crossed the border, and the stars went quiet. No alarms, no weapons, just silence. Then the lights flickered, and the screens went dark. A single message appeared. You were warned. Far away, on Voker Prime, Commander Zarek stood in a quiet tower. He had retired from command, but never from memory. Each night, he looked at the stars. Each night, he wondered if the black star still waited. Then, the call came. A signal from the border. Another ship had vanished. No explosion. No distress call. No trace. Just like before. Zarek raced to the control tower. Lay back the last transmission. The screen blinked. The face of Jaren, distorted with panic, appeared. Behind him, red lights flashed. Screams echoed. Then a voice cut through. "This is the final reminder." Then silence. The signal ended. Zarek closed his eyes. It had started. Again, that night, Zarek met with Trell at the old shipyard. The Draven was docked there, still broken, still quiet. Trell said, "It's happening again, and no one is listening. Zarek nodded. They will when more ships vanish. Trell hesitated. What if we tried to talk to it again? Zarek turned sharply. No, we were lucky once. That luck is gone. But what if it's more than defense? Trell said. What if it's watching for something worse? Zarek froze. Do you mean? Trell tapped a screen, showing old black star logs. There's a file we missed, buried deep in the memory core. It was labeled Phase 2, External Threat. Zarek's eyes narrowed. You think? The black star wasn't. Just made to stop intruders? Terrell nodded. What if it was made to stop something else? Something humans feared. More than invaders. Silence filled the room. Meanwhile, in the blackest part of space, beyond the black star, something stirred. A signal blinked faintly in the void. Old, broken, in human code. The black star received it, analyzed it, paused, then turned. Not toward Vokari. Space, but deeper into the void, where something ancient, and hungry, had just woken up. A last message was sent to no one. It echoed through dead satellites and lost beacons. Phase 2 protocol reactivated. Defensive action expanding. Threat detected beyond known sectors. Back on Voker Prime, Zarek stood under the stars again. He watched the edge of human space, now glowing faintly red on the maps, and he spoke quietly to himself. They weren't just protecting their space, ... They were protecting us from what lies beyond it. Final shot for YouTube closing scene. A dark star system far beyond human space. A large alien structure flickers awake. Strange writing. Not Vokari. Not human. Older. Colder. And in the distance, the black star arrives, its lights red, its weapons armed, and its memory ready, because something else had crossed a different line. And this time, humanity's ghost would fight not for revenge, but for survival.